listening to the real story. I have been homesick for the last couple of days. I know, stop the applause. It gave me time to do some thinking. I thought a lot about Iran. I thought a lot about Anna Nicole and her poor little baby. But most of all, and I hate to admit this, but I've got this growing feeling that our government is just not being honest with us anymore. Everywhere I turn, every level, I feel like I'm being lied to, that there's nobody in government that I can trust. I hope I'm alone in that. It's not just one issue. It's almost all of them. They're all starting to tie together for me. And I guess there's nothing that illustrates it better than the border issue. Like most people in America, I have been so outraged with what has been happening, or I guess more appropriately, what's not been happening on the border. With the immigration debate, it has been confusing, but that's not even enough. It has just never made any sense. Why are we selling out our own security? More importantly, who are we selling out to? Then yesterday, I had one of those Jerry Maguire moments. I woke up in the middle of the night and it hit me all at once. Something that I had seen on television. The real story tonight? The real story is the answer has been right in front of our eyes the entire time. But it took a statement from the president in a press conference yesterday that I saw on a completely unrelated issue to bring it all together. Listen to this.
Let's put it this way. Money trumps peace sometimes. In other words, commercial interests are very powerful interests throughout the world.
Money trumps peace? Don't think so. Money trumps everything. It felt like that's what he wanted to say. You can't explain it any more clearer than the president just did. I want you to keep those words in mind as I tell you two unbelievable immigration stories that both make perfect sense to me now. First, we have that Bank of America story. The ad wizards over there have decided that illegal immigrants would make a nice niche market for a new credit card program. Gee, how do you reach that market? I mean, you can't exactly buy an undocumented worker email list, right? No. Turns out you don't have to. All you have to do is use one key phrase in your advertising that appeals most to that market. Ready for it? No Social Security number required. And that is exactly what the Bank of America is doing. Of course, now they're just claiming, oh, we're just trying to help. Let me give you this quote. These people, they're coming here for quality of life, and they deserve somebody to give them a chance to achieve that. Stop it. You're breaking my heart. But guess who made that heartfelt plea? It was the Bank of America's Director of Latin America Card Operations. Now, what do you suppose his interests are? The quality of life for the immigrants, or squeezing every last drop of money out of the Hispanic market? Money trumps peace. And then there's the story of the NFL. This one is amazing. They actually refused to allow a U.S. Border Patrol recruitment ad in the NFL Super Bowl program. Look at the ad. This is what they wanted to run. It was going to be printed in their program this year, but no. The NFL turned it down. You ready for this? Quote, the immigration debate is a very controversial issue. Oh, yeah. I guess that ad is controversial as well because it says that the border agents help stop terrorists, weapons, undocumented aliens, and drug smugglers from coming into this country. Oh, the humanity! The Border Patrol says the rejection is more than a little puzzling. No, it's not. Honestly, it's not. The real story is that in 2005, Mexico City was the first official NFL game site. The first game ever by the NFL to be played in Mexico was played in Mexico City. The real story is 20 million Mexicans watched the Super Bowl this year. The real story is Mexico represents one of the largest potential new markets for the NFL. And most importantly, the real story is that the majority of Mexicans, the very people the NFL is trying to hook on their crack game, aren't exactly huge supporters of the Border Patrol's recruitment efforts. It all fits together, and it all makes perfect sense as long as you remember the words of our president. And guess what? He's right. And if he is right, if money does trump peace, then it will definitely trump common sense. Common sense is dead in America. TJ Bonner, he's the president of the National Border Patrol Council. TJ, I'm not a conspiracy nut. I'm not a guy who believes in shadow governments, but the shadow government is alive and well, and it is called global corporations. Am I wrong, sir?
You're not wrong. It's all about the money.
I mean, how did this happen to us? How did the Bank of America, how did the National Football League start to look at America as just merely a market and not their home?
This is not something new. This has been going on for decades now. We're just becoming more and more aware of it now that we can't ignore the fact that we have 12 or perhaps 20 million people in this country illegally. The government has been telling us that their policies are working, but we look on every street corner and see all these illegal aliens, and we say, no, they're not working.
TJ, you represent the Border Patrol. You represent the border guards, the people who are risking their frickin' life every day to try to keep drug smugglers and bad guys from coming into our country. And I live in a state, Connecticut, where I drove into a city, and there is a sign next to the freeway that says illegal no hassle zone or something like that, where you can pull up and illegal immigrants can stand there and no one can harass them. It is a consequence-free zone. How does that make you feel?
Very discouraging to the people who are risking their lives every day and every night trying to keep people, bad people, from coming into this country. And yes, the majority of people coming across that border are merely looking for work, but bear in mind that about 8% of the people that we catch crossing that border, and that's only the tip of the iceberg, the ones we catch, they have criminal records here in the United States.
I have to tell you, I am not a guy who calls for boycotts. I just don't do it. But I did make one call today. I called my wife. I said, honey, do we do any business with Bank of America? If so, cancel all of it. I refuse to play any role and do business with any company that sees America as merely a market. Was Clinton as bad as Bush is on this? I mean, Bush is, you know what, TJ, correct me if I'm wrong, Bush is so good at saying, oh, look what we're doing. We're doing a little of this, we're doing a little of this, we're catching these people. But no, nothing of real significance is happening, is it?
It is not. Look around. 12 to 20 million people in this country illegally. Nothing of any significance is happening. Every month, ICE will come out, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Bureau will come out and tell us that they've caught 100 or 200 people working in the country illegally. Well, during that same month, thousands upon thousands of people have crossed the borders illegally and obtained work in the United States. Our frontline agents estimate that for every person we catch, 2 or 3 get by us, and we catch on average 3,000-4,000 people a day.
You know, I tell you, I am so sick of it because, you know, you have a point of view like mine. You're immediately painted as a hate monger and a racist. I don't hate Mexicans. You know, God bless those people who are coming over here. You guys see it firsthand. Your heart must break for these people who are coming over here that are not trying to do any harm. They just want to feed their family. But can we please start putting America first from time to time?
That would be a refreshing change, Glenn.
TJ, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Appreciate all you do, and I don't know how you guys stay sane. If you'd like to read more about this story, or if you found a real story of your own and you'd like to tell us about it, please go to glennbeck.com. I want you to click on the Real Story button right there on the front page and tell us about it, please. Up next, the list of the world's worst dictators. You don't want to miss this.